Hey guys, so real quick before I go officially live on YouTube, I just want to check in, tell you guys to come through. I'm going to be making more granny square beanies today. Color is black and gray. All right, so see you guys on YouTube. So welcome. It's Sunday, so it's S.LadyBug checking in for a sip and stitch. How are you all doing? Cheers to you all. Let's wrap up the weekend and bring in the week, right? We're close to Christmas, so if you guys are still working, that also means that you're halfway working. You're more so shopping, trying to figure out 14 more days of work. So let's sip. Cheers to you also. As like every Sunday, for these sip and stitches, I like to come in and tell you a little bit about my process, tell you a little bit about why I decided to even start YarnMovement and how Believe in What You Dream has come across. Beautiful girl is. I'm S.LadyBug. I'm director for YarnMovement. YarnMovement is a global fashion and lifestyle brand created to inspire consumers like yourselves to really value craftsmanship. It's something that we're getting far, far away from. But I think that one thing that the coronavirus and quarantine and just 2020 has done is let us know how valuable our time is. And it's like the perfect opportunity to jump in and connect that with the artisan or therefore the hands that are behind the creation. And that's anything, but specifically for this sip and stitch, we're focusing on crochet and yarn and handcrafted goods. In addition to that, Believe in What You Dream is a nonprofit arm of YarnMovement that was created to really help young girls discover their superpowers. Why young girls? Because young girls are reflective of my story of who I am. Young girl, 9 years old, learned to crochet and utilized it over the course of the last, I would say, 20 plus years as a way to really hone in and control my time, control outcomes for myself, and not do so in a space of scarcity or enforce myself in a space where I was doing things that I really, really didn't want to do, but utilize it as a way to both theoretically and economically empower my life moving forward. And that's what I plan on doing and have been doing for young girls moving forward. So with that being said, I know that was a mouthful. It's been about 4.5 years, going on 5 now, that Believe in What You Dream has been in existence. Last year was a huge year for us. We worked with over 3,000 girls in less than a month in East Africa. And the goal for 2020 was to make it explosive and continue that work and add on to those numbers. And of course, we have been in quarantine, unfortunately, and we had to make a pivot. And that pivot for us looks like doing more virtual, being present. So if you have not seen, videos of me, now you get to see videos of me and my process, and hopefully YarnMovement is somewhat familiar to you. Believe in What You Dream is getting there as well. And hopefully by the end of this, both will be, at your click of a button, so we can have your contribution and your support moving forward. Whether it be that you're buying something personally that you can rock, or you're buying something as a way to make a contribution for those young girls that we were just mentioning. So without further ado, this week on Giving Tuesday, I thought it would be a good opportunity to announce what is the plan moving forward. So 2021, our goal is to raise $100,000 for Believe in What You Dream Foundation Fund. And those contributions and raising those funds start with you. And it starts with the exchange that we're having right now, where we can find ourselves in a space where you believe in this dream of empowering girls around the world. Because if you do, this is an organization and a movement that is really curated and, really fits into that mode for you as well. because for me, it's beyond the thought and the ideal. The idea was just to be able to utilize crochet as a way to somehow show a visual representation of how powerful your thoughts are, and give that to little girls to let them know that, hey, your thoughts start with you. And by your thoughts starting with you, you have an opportunity to think and therefore link that power to your hands. And as long as you're in position to take action, you can make it happen. And so that's really, at the end of the day and the beginning of the day, the concept of Believe in What You Dream is forging this concept of like think and link, think and link, and think and link, and think and link. And through that, you know, we had to really design a program that was catered to really meeting girls where they are, because not all girls have an equal journey, right? And at least putting ourselves in the position where we can use equitable tools to put them in a space where at least they're rising to the playing field of everyone else. And so what that meant for at least last year, what we incorporated was incorporating power, and power in the sense of something that we can do today. You know, I think that we all have in our mind that, you know, if you have a heart for change and heart for philanthropy, your goal is to be in a space where, you know, like you're really, really helping. I'm going to really arm bar while I'm doing this, where you're really making a change. And, you know, I'll say over and over again, it's not like we're trying to, you know, immediately change the world, but we kind of are, right? And we want to do so by doing immediate things that things can happen today. And so when we think about power, you know, we think about all the restrictions that could be if you don't have power lines, if you don't have things that are actually wired and have something to have an apparatus to connect to. The answer is solar in that instance. And so solar lamps, solar panels installed in schools last year. Each girl received an element of power last year, along with personal care, you know, a really, really big one. And this is not just in areas international, but this is also in areas right here in our lovely country of USA, the land of dreams and land of opportunities. There are still girls who are actively fighting, you know, the lack of or scarcity of not having sanitary products. And, you know, having your cycle is very much a part of just being a woman in your journey. And so being able to be in a position where we can kind of address it right away, like, let's do this. And, you know, the impact is felt, it's seen, it's something that it doesn't require, you know, you don't need a whole month, week, or whatever so to do it. You can do it almost instantaneously or just in a few hours. So literally teaching crochet in 2.5-hour workshop, the solar is being installed, and literally, you know, we're talking about something that's run by the sun. The sun is not going anywhere. So the girls can power their lamps in the sun, have them at night. They're immediately in light. And if you can think about what that can mean for you, and I think that it's something that resonates, at least for those who are checking in from California, all these fires that we had, you know, we were out of power for many, many days. And just thinking about what that means, but what does that mean if you never had power in the first place, right? So now that we're incorporating a sense of enlightenment as we light up lives, right? So that is a concept there where we would say we're enlightening, we're providing enlightenment while we light up lives. And that is the journey, right? And that light up could be physically lighting up, you know, a lamp, but it also could be lighten up your mind, lighten up your existence to give you some kind of inspiration and hope to really move forward, you know? So that's what Believe in You Dream is. 2021, we will be, you know, raising $100,000. That is the number. And I can confidently say that to you because I know the work is good. I have seen the impact. If you have not watched any of my videos already, or at least sat down, talk to me, or even watched any of these videos or the videos of actually traveling to see the work that happened in Nigeria, in Morocco, and East Africa last year, I'm here to let you know that it's good work. I'm a real person. I'm here about change and effective change. And moving forward, for those who are interested in being a part of that, let's go. You know, that's really what it boils down to. And so $100,000 is to really create the kind of impact that we need to really say that, we should continue to do this. Oh, I guess someone wants to drop something off. But so let's get into these actual granny square beanies that are being created. The granny square is significant of just my journey, period. This is the beanie here, and make them in various different colorways. The goal is to have a color pop so it really stands out. But significance of granny squares is that my journey was that when I was talking about when I was a little girl, spending time with my grandmother and her friends, that's when I learned to crochet. But for me, it's the feeling, it's an emotional connection, right? Because if my goal as a designer and as a founder is to really put people in a position where their value of the craftsmanship that's being placed in whatever is being created for them, that's what must happen, right? And so when I think about what is the most effective thing that really is relatable to my journey, I think about those moments with my grandmother and her friends, and understanding the kind of love, the kind of conversations, the kind of things that went into what was being created, and understanding like if somebody sat down and for those of you who are crocheters or even just understands the concept of just making handcrafted goods, you know how much time goes into making granny squares. You have to switch colors very often. I come on live every Sunday since March, and I've been making these granny squares, and you get to see that I'm putting an hour to 2 hours of time into each beanie. If I'm starting from just having the squares done already, or if I'm starting from scratch, it takes time. And understanding that kind of time and that kind of love that's placed means there's an immediate connection to whoever purchases or is gifted anything that's handmade. And so that's the significance of the granny square and why these are particularly being made to fund, and support the ongoing work of Believe in What You Dream because of that love. And so those are being sold. We're doing these beanies as a way to say if you get one granny square beanie, that 2 girls will be impacted, because the cost that's connected to one beanie is enough to give each girl the supplies that they need, and more so focused on the personal hygiene products and the solar lamp itself. Okay. So if you're interested in beanie and supporting movement, YarnMovement, or Believe in What You Dream, click the link that's in the bio. And then also, if you're interested in just making a contribution to Believe in What You Dream, you can visit donate.yarnmovement.com. Okay. So let's get into putting together these beanies, because I think I drove that concept home for you guys. And if you have any questions, just send me an email at info at YarnMovement. You can send me a DM. You can write a message. You can tune in live right now on YouTube, and I'm live with you. I can respond. Also on Instagram for a little time. I'm pretty active on social media, forcefully, by the way. I think that I was active before, but it's something about being in quarantine that's forced me to really do it for real. And drive the concept home, because anybody can get on live, you can see them crocheting, and that's cool. And I'm not here to show off my skills. I'm here to tell you stories and hopefully inspire you to want to get involved, even if not with any programs that I'm personally running or personally attached to. Or maybe it gives you inspiration to follow something that you're passionate about and forge the change that you want to see that's going to help people moving forward and in the years to come. Because I think that is what it is, that human connection, that human touch devices and technology are great for what they're great for, but it's nothing that can replace the ability to really connect with people and have, stories that change lives. So let's change some lives together, y'all. Because I'll have there is plenty of opportunity. I've been personally blown away several times every time I travel out to even activate a new program in a new location. I mean, last year we went to 10 different schools, and I mean, you can only do so much research and ask so many questions. At some point, you have to see it for yourself. Now, granted, I also understand that, everyone doesn't have the spirit of wanting to take a 22-hour flight, a 7-hour drive, and, a bumpy, super bumpy, right? Safari truck, just to get to a location, just to, exchange a few hours with people. I understand it's not for everybody. Like it is for me. I definitely have a heart for it. So, but for those who do have a heart, it's an incredible experience, and it takes you to a place where it's undescribable. And it's something that you'll never forget. It will change your life as much as it changes the life for the person that you're working for or with. Like those kids, I remember doing the program in Morocco, and our workshop was meant to start at like 9 o'clock in the morning. And so, of course, I go like an hour early just to set up and, to make sure that the words that I was practicing in Arabic came out properly. I try to train myself in that way to be respectful for cultures that I'm walking into. And to my surprise, I walk in and there's 8 girls already there. And it was very touching, number one, because I was just like, oh, that means they're excited as I am, but then when I found out that some of the girls, it took them 3 hours to get there, that also meant that they had to leave their house at 6 o'clock in the morning, and, whether it be they're walking or hitchhiking, whatever way they got there. And, you can't replicate that feeling, that feeling was great. And they, welcomed me with really bright smiles and hugs and, just ready to experience whatever was going to happen moving forward. Because, I'm not even quite sure that, I do know that for crochet specifically, there is, there's a different term, like everywhere I go, in Panama, there were crocheters, but they didn't call it crochet. It was called something a little different. As well as in Morocco, there were actually some girls in the course that actually knew how to crochet already. And so it kind of made it more engaging because for those who are just beginners, this is one of those things that when you kind of want to show someone anyway. And so we had some girls kind of showing, and it kind of helped with translating. Same thing happened in Africa, actually, in both Nigeria and, well, Morocco is definitely in Africa. Same thing in Nigeria and in East Africa, I should say, when we were closer to Tanzania, while in Tanzania and while in Kenya. Like the instructors, all of them knew how to crochet, even the men, actually. That was really cool. And so it made it very easy to teach more girls. Because, again, when we pulled up to the school, I don't care like how much I read or how often I spoke to anyone. I wasn't prepared to see 1,200 kids at one school. Not in the middle of like the Serengeti in the desert. And even when we went up, there was a video I posted on Instagram this week, and it shows the one of the rivers that we had to drive through to get to this school. And this river was way at the bottom of the hill, right? And I hate to even say hill, because I think that we drove an additional 2 hours after we drove through the river so we can get all the way to the top of this mountain, which was at the border of Kenya and Tanzania, to go to this school. And when we get there, there are more like 2,000 kids at the school. I spoke with one of the lead teachers there, and he was just showing his numbers. And I was like, wait a minute, let's get this right. There's 2,000 kids here? He's like, yeah, we have 2,000 kids under our care. Blew my mind. Blew my mind, you know? And so all I have to say is that if you're interested in activism, philanthropy, doing programming, and travel that's connected to it, Believe in What You Dream is designed for that. And it's not just international. Something that's coming up at the start of this year, I'm partnering with an organization that's based in Michigan called Grit, Glams, and Guts. And they have programming that's really ran through Michigan State, where these girls are being taken through a program to help them with leadership skills and put them in a space where they're really preparing. And their age is similar because they're high school kids leading into college. There's a college program, like an early academic program that is ran through Michigan State, where the girls are staying there for a week during the summer. So they get that experience of staying on campus and taking courses. And we decided that we wanted to do something together because, with Believe in What You Dream, my goal is to just inspire and help identify that superpower within the girl, right? And for me, I think it kind of starts there that, once you know who you are and you show up the way you want to, that you really, no one can't tell you nothing at that point, for real, because you already know. You already know who you are. People can't tell you can't do something because it's just, what do they know? You already decided that that's what you're going to do. And so we're going to be doing a virtual class. We currently have over 130 girls signed up, and I'm going to be teaching each one of them how to crochet, along with the fact that they're going to be doing their regular schedule events of the actual leadership workshops every month. And I get an opportunity to incorporate a lesson in there. And so I'm super excited. I hit up Kenny Peas for her beautiful pins. And, I actually have them here. That's right. I kept them here so I can show you guys. So inside each kit, the girl gets yarn. She gets a pair of crane scissors. They didn't want the purple, so we went with the rose gold. I love this pair though. So they get a pair of scissors, they get a hook, and they're gonna get one of 5 different style of pins, or actually, 5 different style of pins. And so this is one. This is a squish kebab, and so when you look close, it's made out of yarn. And then there's the Queen of Hearts. So there's yarn with the crochet hook there and a crown. And then there's a black version of it. So it's black yarn. Queen of Hearts blackout. And then there's the Queen of Yarn Ferris wheel. And so when you look at the Ferris wheel, it has, can you see? There's yarn there on each Ferris wheel. There we go. How cute. And then we have geez. There we go. Kind of. Yep. So each girl will get one of these in their pack. And that last one is kind of a s'more, but it has yarn in there. The merino yarn. So that's happening. And then just a shout out, Channy P's Corner just one more time. She's doing these really dope women creating pins. And so everyone knows that my favorite line is embrace your dopeness. And so that just kind of worked out too. And so each girl are going to get a pin, their yarn, and then we're going to group together virtually and do a teaching space there. And it's going to be super fun. So that's happening there. Those are going to start in January, and those are going to be ongoing. So my goal at some point, always in the journey of teaching girls, I do want to empower them in that way where, it just gives them something to do. And if they choose to want to start business moving forward, I kind of keep track of them and help them through their process. Like, for instance, there are a few girls who have gone through programs, the Believe in What You Dream program in the past, who have started their businesses and they're selling, and it's helpful for their families because they can help out with some of the bills, even if it's just, purchasing yarn or, buying books for school or paying for school. So, and when I say paying for school, it could be helping out to buy their uniforms or even be in a space where they can purchase sanitary products and buy things that, should be a part of every girl's journey. The Dream Girl Kit is kind of like a starter kit to get them started, especially for the sanitary products last year. Unfortunately, my goal was to raise 30,000 last year. I was $5,000 short, so I had to put in the extra funds on top of the ones that I wasn't necessarily fundraising for. But what that did, not knowing that there were going to be so many girls at the school, it also put us in a space where we weren't able to provide as much sanitary products as we wanted to. But we were able to do what we could with what we had, and that's another reason why I'm here, to make sure that moving forward that we have enough and we don't run out, and that we prepare. I mean, again, my number was only to work with 300 girls last year, and we hit that number the first day, and we're going to be there another 28 days. I can't repeat that enough because of the effect, what that meant for girls who were there that we couldn't necessarily do much for, except for, well, I guess that we didn't even have to encourage the process of the concept of sharing. They're very much so sharing like a communal group of people where they were just thankful someone thought about them, and I want to make sure moving forward that it's not just a thought, but it changes. It plants a seed of hope to let them know that, you're not ignored, you're not forgotten. There are other options out there. And just because you haven't been exposed to them prior to this day, now you are, and that, you're more powerful. There's opportunities. You don't have to fester away and, take mediocrity as your regular everyday life. You can do other things to change it. And it really starts with you. You have to make a decision. You have to think about it. You have to know. And once you know, set the world on fire. Really. That's how I feel about it. And then I want to say shout outs to my girl Kim of Bold Creations, because she provided today's squares. And so it makes it really awesome to get through projects when I have other dedicated, supportive crocheters in my corner, to really join forces so we can, stitch our lives together to really make an impact together. So shout outs again. Thank you. and to all the folks out there who are keeping me busy, keeping my fingers going. I love creating, so it's perfect. I have a few folks who order backdrops because they love how this looks. I think that many of us understand that we're going to be in the house a little bit longer than we thought we would. So it's nice having something to look at. And, I'm making a bunch of beanies and, some other things that will pop up on your feed if you're following me. So make sure you follow. And please, please, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. My views are up. I didn't get my subscribers up now, clearly. If I would have thought 10 years ago to really follow up and be a part of this online game, life would be different right now. I could have gone live in all those classes I was having internationally, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It'll be all good. We're here now, There we go. So boom, we have one side of our beanie complete. Woo-hoo. Let's do the other side. Oh, and I do have a really, really cool story to tell y'all. So last week, I think I posted a video of packing up things before I went to go, do my deliveries to the post office or whatever. And I had a donation come in from, not to say I know everyone who donates, but, this was donation that came in. It was a very large one. And one of the things that I like to do is make sure people understand how grateful I am for their support. And so I packaged up a few beanies and a few little gifts and sent those out. And yesterday, I was minding my own business, crocheting and trying to organize all my yarn. It's really crazy in here. And one of my close friends, he hits me up and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm crocheting." Like, this is very simple, right? And he's like, "So what's YarnMovement?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? That's my company." And he was like, "Yeah, I know." He was like, strange, because he was playing basketball in his pod group. And he's like, my boy, big brolic dude, walks up and he pulls out Granny Square beanies that say YarnMovement. And he's just like, "So how do you know him?" And I was like, "How do I know who?" And, he says his name. And I was like, "Oh, so I don't know him, but I know that I sent out beanies because there was a large donation that came through." And he's like, "This is wild." And he was like, "Well, he just gave me 3 of the beanies because, they were little girls' colors. And my boy he's a counselor at a school." And he was just like, "Well, maybe you can do like a giveaway or give some of your students because it's the holiday with these beanies." And he was like, "And then give this one to your son because it's a little small for my head." And so my boy sends me a photo and he's like, first he sends me, I'm just going to show y'all so y'all know I'm telling the truth. So first he sends me this photo and he's like, "Those are your beanies, right?" So this is the yellow packaging that I have. Those are the beanies. They're inside the bag. And then he sends me the picture of his son wearing the beanie. How cute. And for me, y'all, I don't know if y'all know this, but I am like, sentimental. I was all in tears and I was just like, that is so amazing. Because, again, I keep on dropping my tapestry needle. These are very important to the life of a crocheter. But it just let me know that, you know, my goal, again, it just worked out because I wanted to make sure that it was felt. And tagging my product is important as well. Making sure it has that YarnMovement logo on it, label. Complete stranger. And just showing how connected life is, you know? So I thought that was a cool story to share. Especially since that's one of the beanies that that made life. So literally, you know, those who go back and watch this video, or even or even the girls that end up getting gifted those, they already know me because I do some guest pop-ups in their BSU organization for their school. And those girls who are going to receive those beanies are part of the BSU. So now they can say that they have the YarnMovement product. And then right away, that contribution has already been utilized for the 130 girls that we're working with in Michigan. And so it's like a complete story, completely connected, and we're all together, you know? And it's just cool. So thank you all for your support. And let's do more. Those are the kind of moments that are exciting to me. Okay, I'm trying to find my other crochet hook. I kind of want to use a bigger one. So I need to bring out my little Seiji kit. This is Stitch Everywhere You Go. I have all my needles that I use actively in here. So just kind of finish wrapping this beanie up because I have a lot of products to work on right now. But thank God, I am a exceptionally fast crocheter because Lord have mercy. And I believe in turning around things quickly if I can. I did have a few fiascos this year, though, especially over the summer. A lot of my yarn, especially the yarn that I use for the swimwear, is coming in from Turkey and from India, and all of it was held up. So that is fine. I mean, typically I have everything on hand, but it was the specific colors that were ordered. So I had to kind of wait until my supplier got everything here. And there were some holdups. But you know what's crazy? Crazy enough, it seemed like Amazon didn't even have those kind of problems at all. So I'm just trying to figure out what is Amazon doing? You know? But I'm pretty sure a lot of their stuff was coming from overseas. Why were there any holdups there? Because they were holding up my money. Okay, I am done with this row, and then I'm going to just flip it over and close up the other side. So we have all 8 of them together now. See? And let me start in this, weave back in this piece here that I just finished up on. I'll try to do it now so I don't have to try to do it later. And if you guys are just checking in, I am over here pulling together this granny square beanie. that are being sold to support the ongoing work for our nonprofit arm of Yarn Movement, Believe in What You Dream. We are helping young girls discover their superpowers, because I know that crochet is definitely my superpower. Literally anything I can think about crocheting, no pattern, no nothing, I can make it happen. That has to be a superpower, I think. And I'm gonna end that. Oh man, I'm trying to find a thumbnail that works where one of my eyes is not closed or something. Let's do that one. Don't want the eyes to be closed. They were like, oh yeah, she was really sipping. I'm like, I was, but I'm gonna twist it. You know, but the internet is unforgiving in that moment. So you have to be very careful, okay? Boom. Okay, let me catch up. And let's take another sip. So, the last Sunday of this month, I'm going to be taking the sipping stage to another level. Going to have someone on who's mixing, special stage. Going to have some active conversation where you guys don't just have to listen to me. That way, it can be more engaging. You can meet more people, because I have some really dope people that I know that are within my network and who are doing some really dope things. And I think that a sip and stitch is a perfect time to sit and stitch all these things together and just show how there's nothing that we do in life that is meant to be in separation of things. It's meant to be connected, because that makes it really dope. So look out for that information. I'll probably pop in and open up the registration for that tomorrow, along with the fact that each person who's signs up, they'll receive a kit with some goodies in it. Because I have some real goodies to share. But yeah, so look out for that, all right? Because it's going to be exciting, and that's going to be the way. You know, I'm still going to continue to do meetups every Sunday. The last Sunday of every month is just going to be a more program one to make it more engaging and fun. And boom. Having a metal tapestry needle is a must-have. I played myself for a minute because they didn't have any more left in the store at one point, and I was just like, oh, I'll just buy a plastic one. I should be okay. Nope. Wasn't a good idea. It broke. And it didn't even break at the part where, you know, you think it would break. It broke in the middle. So technically, I probably still could have used it, but it was just like whack. Okay. So we have the beanie together. And what we're going to do now is just kind of close up the top to make it an actual beanie versus just having it open. That is too small for anybody's head to go through unless you're like a little baby. So this is the fun part. I don't know, maybe because it's the end. And then I get to say, now it's time to say goodbye. See you real soon. No. Meanwhile, I have to go through all of this yarn, y'all. Doing inventory is not fun after like I do projects like this one here where it's like so many colors and I'm just like, oh, just throw it back in there or throw it somewhere else. Oh, or I have a million. I was looking for red yarn the other day and I couldn't find any. And I used a red yarn that is a little bit more premium that I wanted to use for something that didn't even cause for it. It wasn't even something that, you know, the person could even appreciate or feel. It was just, you know, but I used it because I was like, I don't have any more red yarn and I'm not going to the store. Red yarn skeins in there. I'm like, see, like the yarn that I want to use inside of a tote bag. And that's the bag that I pick up. So I can make sure I pick up on the project, whatever it is. And I did I was doing a shawl, a red shawl. And I don't know why I thought I was going to need like 9 skeins of yarn to finish this shawl, but probably because it was down to the ground. And it didn't require 9 skeins of yarn. And I just kind of left all the yarn in there because that was something I worked on last year, you know. So it's really been in that bag for a long time. So now I'm going back through and organizing everything. So I'm doing color by color and I'm still on orange. Jesus. And I would love to get some help, but I don't want anybody to bring their germs around because people really don't like wearing masks. I've decided. Thankfully, when I was in the post office the other day, because you guys know that I'm not really one to go outside. Like, I'm going outside because money. I don't want to mess up my brand and, you know, trust that they're going to receive what they're paid for. So I have to go out, but happy to report for the first time I went into post office, everyone actually had on their mask. And I didn't have to fight anybody for getting close to me. But serious. Okay, well, this beanie is complete. We're gonna just show. Look at that, guys. Thanks again, Bold Creations, Kim, for sending over these squares. The beanie is beautiful. And for those who are interested in purchasing a granny square beanie in black and gray are your colors, click the link. All right. This is S.LadyBug signing out. This is another sipping stage. I'm going to see you guys next Sunday for our next sip. And in the meantime, if you're interested in supporting Believe in What You Dream and our efforts, please visit donate.yarnmovement.com. Again, that's donate.yarnmovement.com. And I will see you all soon. S.LadyBug signing out.